stress management, and we will try to understand meaning of stress management. Is stress always harmful, or some of the level of stress is good for individual performance and for organizational performance? What are the causes of the stress? In this particular lecture, we will try to make sense of all these different concepts. At the end of this lecture, students will be able to develop their meaning of stress management. What is this stress management? What is the reason for the causes of the stress management? And they will be able to identify what kind of stress level is useful, and what kind of the stress level is harmful. So in this way, we will make sense of the meaning of this lecture. Let's look at the meaning of the stress. For example, when we try to understand what is stress, is basically a feeling. Stress is a feeling that disturbs a person with a mismatch between personal capacity and demands. When we say personal capacity and demands, if the personal capacity and demands are not matching, for example, if you are a person who has to perform some certain level of tasks, but your capacity is not at that level, and there is a mismatch. So this mismatch creates a disturbance in a person at psychological level, mental level, and sometimes at physical level. So this sort of feelings, when develops in a person, that is basically stress. So we need to manage this stress. So how can we manage? Stress management is a technique that helps an individual to develop skills to manage the equation. For example, what kind of the equation that develops, stress by stress management? So if you have demands, and those demands can be meet with developing your individual capacity, the capacity at individual level, the capacity at a group level, and the capacity at organizational level. So in other way, you can manage the stress. So this is the way you can address the problem of this mismatch. So stress management is a technique, and that technique is used to address the problems related with stress, the feelings that a person is having because of the mismatch of match of the demands and the personal capacity. When you look at this particular picture, you can see if you have a lot of work, and your capacity is very low to complete all those kind of works available at your end to perform, so there will be a kind of stressful situation psychologically or physically because of this adaptive response, a person's adaptive response to an excessive psychological or physical demands from the work. That is how you can explain the stress in your own words. So stress occurs due to the difference between an individual's personal ability to perform that sort of the task that generates a kind of demand. For example, if you have to complete an assignment within a particular period of time, and that demand to meet, if you have managed your time, if you have come up with the basic skills and the knowledge that is required to complete your assignment within that period of time, so that's fine. Otherwise, if you have not that level of skill, if you have you are lacking in that particular ability to cope with that kind of demand from the assignment, that means that you are developing a stress in your life. You become under stress. So that's how you can understand the meaning of stress, and you can make sense of applying this particular meaning in your practical life. So some people who complain that I am in a very stressful condition. I have to do this, I have to do that, but I have no time, and this and that. So this means that they are feeling a stressful situation in their life. So this is because of their their ability, their individual ability to cope with the demand, and that's why they are in a state of stress. Now the question is stress always harmful or not? Now this is very interesting question, and you can make sense all the time. Stress is not harmful, and it should be very clear, because not all kinds of stress is bad. A moderate level of stress, that is that is necessary for an individual to have that moderate level of stress in the life, because that having a moderate level of stress in life means you are you are prepared with a particular task to perform well in time. So this basically a pushing force to complete your task well in time. So in this way, you can improve your performance. So having a moderate level of stress in life is not harmful, is not bad. Rather, it is good, because it pushes you, it it instigates you to work on a particular task, work on a particular assignment that has given to you from time to time, so as to complete that assignment well in time. So that moderate level of stress enables you to keep connected with your task. So it do not allow you to forget your task. It do not allow you to come out of the feeling about the task to perform. So that's why a moderate level of stress is good for improving performance at personal level, and improving performance at a group level as well as at organizational level. So that is very important. But the stress which is very low, a very little level of stress, that creates a kind of boring situation in life. If you are very much comfortable and you feel there is no stress, that means that you have forgotten everything that you were supposed to perform. So that creates a kind of boredom in your life, and that is basically not good for improving the performance or performing the things in your life. When you see this curve, it at this particular graph, you can see stages of stress process. On y-axis, you can see resistance to stress. The ability, resistance to stress is a kind of ability that you develops in your life. And on the x-axis, there are phases: the first phase, the second phase, and the third phase. The first phase is an alarms reaction. In the second phase, that is the stage of resistance, and the third stage, that is the stage of exhaustion. When you have these different stages on x-axis, and you have resistance to this stress on y-axis, there will be a relationship between these two sort of the variables. And you can see this curve. This curve is a normal level of resistance to stress that shows in the second phase. And in case of this particular situation, you can see a normal level that your resistance to stress and and the stage of the resistance is almost that is normal because of this a moderate level of stress that pushes you to perform the highest level of highest level of performance in your life. If you have more resistance, the question is, if you have more resistance to stress, you will be in a high performing state. and and vice versa, if you have a very little or no resistance to stress level, or in other words, if you have no stress in your life, so that means that you will not perform the things in well in time. So that's the story. You can make sense of that. And finally, we will see what are the causes. If you came up with an understanding that the stress is a feeling which develops in a person because of a mismatch between the demands and your personal ability. And for that, we came up with personal examples in our life as a student, as a learner. So if you have not developed that level of skill, if you have not developed that level of ability in your life, but you have there is a demand, you have some task to perform, and because of the demand, that external demands, that creates a kind of pressure, that creates a kind of feeling that irritates you, that disturbs you, that makes you uncomfortable in your life. So that is the situation that develops in a human being. And for that, you have to look at yourself to improve your skill, and you have to improve the knowledge and some of the techniques to understand why a certain level of skills and knowledge is necessary to perform the tasks which are there to complete. So for that, you as a person, you need to be very much clear in your life that for whatever the task you have to perform, for that task you need to develop your mental, physical ability to understand the nature of the task, and you need to develop the skills, the required level of skills to perform that task in an excellent manner. Then you can come out of the stress. And the stress, there are different levels of the stress. If you have high level of stress, that is also very harmful for your health, for your mental health, for your physical health. And if you have very low level of stress, then it creates a kind of boredom in your life, and you will forget each and every task in your life, and you will kill your time all the time, and you will be a boring person. But if you have a moderate level of stress in your life, and that is very healthy, because having a moderate level of stress is necessary to perform your tasks well in time. So it pushes you to do something in your life that enables you to improve your performance. So having a moderate level of stress is good, is not harmful. Rather, it is a good thing for your life to improve your performance. Now we will discuss what are the causes of this stress, either the stress at moderate level, or the stress at highest level, or the stress at the lower level. So what are the causes? Though there are many causes, but we will look at some of the most important and general causes of the stress. The first one is environmental factors and the society in which you are living. If that society generates a demand from you, and you have not that level of ability to fulfill the demands of the society. In other words, if you are a person who is very much conscious about what will be happen if I will do this, what will be happen if I will say that, who what the people in the society will think about me if I will even wear this sort of dress, and if I will behave like that, if I will perform like this one. So these are the things which, if you very much sensitive, very serious about these kind of the factors, and the environment around you is not so much conducive, that disturbs you to make a meaning of these kind of the things in your life, rather than concentrating on your own task, the nature of the task, and your the level of knowledge, and your level of skills that you have, and the way as a person you perform the things according to your knowledge and skills, and you make sense of your performance at individual organizational level, then there will be no stress, highest level of stress. But if you are very much sensitive, these environmental factors, these factors which are associated with the society in which you are living, will create stress in your life, will be the main sources of the stress, main causes of the stress in your life. Another thing is organizational factors, work related factors. For example, you are a teacher, and other you compare yourself every time in uh, in the organization, in the school, with the highest performing teacher. And and for one side, this is good because you have set a pattern in your life, and you have set a target in your life that this highest performing teacher is my ideal, and I need to reach at this level. That is a moderate level of stress, because that generates a moderate level of stress. It helps you to improve your performance. But if you make that in a kind of perfectionist approach, so that will definitely disturb you. That will create a highest level of stress in your life. That will be a disastrous in your life. That is not healthy. That is very harmful in your life. So you need to make sense of which kind of the factors in the organization, how other people are performing, what are their skills, what is the knowledge they have, how hardworking and how excellent time managers they are. If you make sense of that one in your life, that that is good thing. That will help you to evaluate yourself, to make sense of your own skills and your own knowledge, and this will be a good thing. This will be a healthy thing to explore yourself and develop your personal capacity to meet that level of demand in the organization. Otherwise, if you will blindly look at others, if you blindly follow the highest performing people who are very much intellectuals, they are working very hard to develop their knowledge and to develop their skills, but you are, rather than developing your knowledge and skills, you are just comparing yourself with others, and you find there is a difference between you and other people, and that the work related things, there will be highest level of stress, and that is harmful for you. The third causes of the stress might be personal factors and your family related factors. For example, if you do not understand yourself as a person, who you are, what are the abilities do you have, what are the skills do you have, Where is your strength? Where is your weakness? How can you multiply your strengths? How can you reduce your weaknesses? And how you overcome those weaknesses by developing knowledge, by developing your skills, and having good interactions, using effectively the time, and all that kind of the things in your family, how to live a healthy life, how to interact with family members, how to support your family, what can you do for the family, what you cannot do for the family. If you will realize all those kind of the things, that will reduce the stress. But if you do not understand all those kind of the things, that would be one of the major causes of stress in your life. And finally, we will look at health related or psychological factors which create stress in your life. If your health is not good, if you are not a healthy person physically and psychologically, mentally, so that is one of the causes that creates highest level of stress in your life. So these are the most important areas a person need to explain, and try to understand what is the meaning of stress, how this stress develops in a person, either the stress at all levels, at the lowest level or moderate level or the highest level, is harmful or is something that needs to be understood, either the stress is all the time is harmful or not. So you can make sense of your own life at a comfortable situation, and you can develop knowledge and skill by improving your ability to cope with the challenges, to cope with the demands of the your demands of the work, the demands at the family, demands in the society, so that you can meet those demands, and reduce the level of stress in your life and live a healthy, balanced life. So in the next coming class, we will go further in details. What are the approaches we can use to reduce the stress, and what are the things that at individual level and at organizational level can make different sort of impacts of this stress if you have developed in your life. So in detail we will discuss in